We recently reported on the wildfires that have torn through Western Australia, destroying over 71 homes and over 10,000 hectares. Today we chat with South African Chantall Brouwer, who now lives in Perth, Western Australia, to hear her account of the wildfires and Covid-19 experience down under.
Really is great to connect with a South African expat on the other side of the world. Great to see that you are safe right now. But it must be said, it was completely tragic seeing the visuals being shown in the media when the fires first broke out. Maybe a good place to start is with an account of what it was like actually being in that area. Where were you? Were you on standby to evacuate?
Yes, we were on standby to leave. In Australia, we have a website which really keeps you informed on what to do, and it's quite scary seeing how the red line just starts moving closer and closer. So you get ready, you get prepared, because even though the fireys haven't really told you to move yet, traffic can stop you from leaving your house. So yeah, you start packing, you start just making the decision on what you're going to take with what you leave, obviously your pets, but you start thinking about your personal items, photos that might not be saved digitally. It's a really scary experience once you have to start thinking about what you're going to take with you. What
really matters to you. It's an incredible gateway to be forced through. So we certainly do kind of connect with you on that emotional level.
And you know, last year was one of those years where you thought, what else could go wrong? And if you look at what happened in Australia, I mean, the COVID-19 lockdown measures fitting in with the fires as well. I mean, what sort of instructions were given to the public at that time?
So we have WA, we went in lockdown at the time, so we were quite freely moving around. But it just so happened that the same week we had the fires, we had full lockdown, so only essential workers were allowed to leave their house. And a lot of people were sort of trying not to make the decision to leave their house from the fires because of the COVID restrictions. So we were told that there will be evacuation centres, everything's been prepared to the COVID guidelines, but please leave, don't stay in your house because of COVID. So it was that scary thing of, do I go somewhere and possibly get COVID? Do I stay with my house and defend? What do you do? But we were kept informed the whole time by the government, which was great.
I mean, it's been a contentious issue for the rest of the world, you know, in every country, how you handle the corona crisis. And Australia has managed to keep your numbers relatively low in comparison to a lot of other countries, with a little over 29,000 cases, I think, resulting in just over 900 deaths, which is a lot less when you consider even South Africa. But how has life changed? What's it been like for you in Australia since these lockdown measures have been implemented?
Look, I think living in WA, we're slightly different to the rest of Australia. We're sort of our own little island, our own little state to the side. So we've been a lot different to New South Wales, where they're still wearing masks. They're still having to have restrictions on amount of people going to weddings and things like that. WA, we're pretty free at the moment. We still have to keep the 1.5 metre distance, or I think it's 2 metres. But other than that, we've been pretty good. So we're very lucky in WA. We still have border restrictions. So travelling is a big thing for Western Australians because they love to go everywhere. And at the moment, we are just travelling within the state. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
And I know that Western Australia is quite a choice destination for a lot of Cape Townians who are moving over to Australia.
Yeah.
So we can tell that you like moving around just like us. But if you look at on a global scale, vaccines have rolled out. And I'd like to ask you, have you or anyone you know had the vaccine yet? And if that's the case, what has your or their experience been?
Look, it's been interesting because a lot of other places have gotten vaccines before us. We've only just gotten the vaccine on Monday, so they've got a list of how people are getting it rolled out. So we've got essential workers, people who are frontline, working with people with COVID. So the first two people were nurses working in hotel quarantine, where people coming into WA have to wait. And so they've got the first vaccine, and then they'll do all the old age homes, nursing homes and things like that. So we'll eventually get it, I think, in October. So I don't know anyone personally, but everyone seems happy about it. So yeah.
Well, we are just glad that you are safe, that you are sitting, hopefully, presumably, in your house, and that you are weathering this storm. Thank you so much for taking the time to connect with us and share your experience. It's amazing. We are sharing a global experience at the moment, and we really have become one global village. And as an expat, we miss you. We're going to say that. We miss you, and we hope that you're faring really well. But we really love connecting with you. So thank you so much.
Oh, pleasure. Thank you for having me on the show.
Fantastic, Chantall. And I mean, it's so true. Communication is the key. If you want to get through something, perspective is important. So from Australia to South Africa, we are all in this together. And I think that's why it's important for us to connect with people just like Chantall, just to kind of find out the experiences. What can we learn? But more importantly, knowing that we are all in this together.